Hey, Konstantin's here. I'm a full stack developer and I continue working on my progressive web application built with Solid.js, Firebase services, and now Tailwind CSS. Let me switch to my plan for today. I'm going to improve fonts and I'm going to optimize a little bit CSS variables. And this is, I hope, the last video with me migrating to Tailwind CSS. Yay! So let me start coding. First, I'm going to take a look at the fonts I'm using here. I'm using inter variable font here, but I actually don't include it in any way to the application. So if we just search for font, we see where we use it, but we don't see where we include it. So it's a kind of mistake actually, so it needs to be fixed. But in fact, I don't need variable font like inter here. I would probably stick to something more classic like Roboto font or something like that from the same sans serif service. And I'm going to refactor fonts a little bit. So first of all, let me just go to Google Fonts and find Roboto font. Roboto font is quite popular. I think it's a sans serif font. Let me check. Roboto typeface. Let me scroll a little bit and find what's the neo-grotesque sans serif typeface. So it's sans serif typeface. So Tailwind has font family settings, default font family settings. Let's find them on their official website. So you see they have classes for font sans, font serif, and font mono. It's kind of predefined classes. I'm going to override these defaults with Roboto, or to be precise, I will just add Roboto as the primary font for font sans class. For that, I'm going to scroll down to the documentation and see how to do that. I think I need to override default theme settings of Tailwind CSS. I need to do something like this. But before that, I need the font itself to be included into the project. So I choose get font. I know that I'm going to I need to customize what kind of the sizes I need. I need regular, change styles. I need regular, I need bold, and I think that's it. So I don't currently use anything except the font weight 40 and font weight 400 and 700. So, and what else Google suggests me doing? It suggests me adding pre-connect to my HTML page to be able to pre-connect these font domains to load the font faster. As far as I know, pre-flight request is made for all Tailwind default font systems. So set base types, yeah, let me just read it. Built on top of more. Okay, it's not that. I think I need to still pre-connect the domains of the fonts. It won't be bad to include that. So what should I do first? I should add this code to my HTML. And I have main app code here, and HTML. Where can I redefine? Okay, I have index HTML here, which is used. So I can actually add pre-connect for fonts into it, or even better if I put them somewhere to the bottom of the head. This is the first thing I need to do, and then I'm gonna use import and create a new CSS file. Let me create a new file. I'm thinking where to put this file because it will be used from index CSS. So should I actually add it to assets folder? CSS. No, assets folder is probably used by Vite to put everything from it to the public folder automatically on build, as far as I know. So I won't need it at the moment. I won't just create a styles folder for now. I will improve it later. And here in the styles folder, I will create something like fonts CSS, and also later on I will need variables for all my CSS variables. Okay, so to include the font I just chosen, I'm gonna do this thing. So I only include Rabota 400 and 700 weight. Now I need to import this fonts file to the top. I think it's kind of import or something like this, not sure. Styles, need to do these styles, fonts. Yeah, it should work this way. Let's see. And also variables. Yeah, I need to use to end the line. Yeah, so for variables I'm gonna copy the existing variables to the file, remove everything except root, and remove the variables from here. What else? I think I don't need these things too. They are set by default by Tailwind CSS, I'm sure. So font weight 400 is default, and line height also set by the framework, I think. I don't even need color scheme dark because I don't work with dark or light scheme here at all. It's necessary for Tailwind CSS to be able to, when user switches from one light theme to dark theme, Tailwind provides dark classes for every element. So you can actually develop dark classes for all elements. So I only have one scheme, and it's already dark, but in fact my application doesn't know anything about that, so I will just remove it for now. The only thing set here is text primary and background tertiary. That's good. For the font family, we just included Rabota font, which is good. We can copy the settings from the Tailwind documentation for the sans font and put them to our Tailwind documentation. So here, I think this way. So, and it's gonna be Rabota with quotes, with double quotes. Okay, so something like Rabota with double quotes. And also we need to import default theme as recommended by the documentation. This way. So now we just added Robotophone as a first option in the list of all available, all preferred fonts. So now we need to use this font. So I will just apply font sans here, which will enable font sans for the entire application, for the entire HTML element of the application. Here I can remove font family completely. Yeah, I think it can be set through layer base or this way, doesn't really matter. So what I need to do now is to test whether it works or not, all my changes. Let me open the page. I see some lags here. Visual Studio Code probably leaking, or one of the plugins leaking memory. That's why we have some issues here. Let me close Visual Studio Code for now. Wait for a little bit and run it again. So I can close fonts, I can close variables, and now I can run the application again. Okay, have localhost, Tangamon, no such file, no directory. Okay, of course, the path should be improved. I think it should be something like this. Let's check. No such file or directory. Okay, I will just Google how to import files to the. I think it should be pretty easy to do, but yeah, for some reason it doesn't work. I will just Google Tailwind import external CSS. Tailwind CSS import external CSS. Let's see. Yeah, they recommend using the same. I mean, it's not a recommendation actually. Okay, post CSS import. This is what's missing. I need a plugin. I need a post CSS import plugin. Let me install it. npm run, npm install -d post CSS import. Tailwind CSS. Yeah. And now I will be able to use the imports. But first, let's go to post CSS config and add this plugin as the first one in the list. Okay. Now I can try to run the app again and see if it helped. No, it didn't help. Okay, let me check what else can be wrong here. Styles, font CSS, fonts CSS variables. Let me check the documentation of the suggested way of doing it. To be Tailwind base. Okay, used to be Tailwind. Okay, good. Yeah, I think we are good. We should be good. No such file or directory. Okay. Okay, what if we remove this for now and see if it helps? And I need to rerun the app again. No, it doesn't work. Okay, what else can I do? Let's see documentation. Okay, components, import components. I can actually import the Tailwind styles as well. Okay, let me read it a little bit. Components, component will not work. They say will not work. Components, use separate files for imports and actual CSS. Okay. Yeah. Buttons, components, cards. Okay. Don't do this way. Okay, they don't like me to do it. I will just do it this way. As I assumed, we need to import Tailwind styles differently. Base, and this is gonna be base styles. Okay. Utilities, custom components, just like this. Let's see if it helps. Not sure, but we anyway needed to do it. Okay, reload. No, it didn't help. Okay, what if I just move index file to the styles folder and then include it from there? Styles. Yeah, something like this should work. Let's see. Can save here. And here I can actually include phones and variables this way. I hope it should help. For some reason it does work. Now CSS, index CSS undefined, no such file at the directory. Why? Why it doesn't see the file? Yeah, it happens. We'll check. What can I do? Okay, maybe it doesn't like. I can close Rabota settings. Maybe it doesn't like post CSS import. Yeah, it should basically work. That's strange. What if I rename these files to without underscore? Maybe it can help. Let's see. Yeah, but that's strange anyway, so no, it doesn't work anyway. So okay, with Tailwind import CSS. What happens here? It's wrong here. CRC content. Okay, and one interesting observation here. I need to include index HTML to the Tailwind settings too. I think I missed that last time because we also use index HTML template as a main template, main page template. So okay, no, it's not what I looked for. What? Import CSS features, CSS import. Let me check what Vite documentation say about the import. Post CSS comment format supported by okay. CSS modules. We have post CSS import. Vite aliases are also respected for CSS import. All CSS are. That's strange. Yo. Classes. Yeah, all is good. Okay, let's continue. First of all, Vite already includes post CSS under the hood, as far as I understood. I thought it's the problem, but it's not the problem. What if I just remove it from plugins here, because we might not need it with Vite? Let's check, just to guess. Yeah, the same error, so post CSS. Okay. Where should I put the CSS files? Vite CSS. Okay, let me Google. Where should I store CSS files for Vite, from Vite point of view? CSS target. Yeah, doesn't. No, it's not that. Let me just take a look. Maybe I missed something. It's very strange actually. And yeah, this all should work. Tailwind fonts, and actually it's legit to name the file the way I want. So it gets me annoyed a little bit, this message with no explanation what's happening. The path is wrong, but yeah, what's the default path for CSS? Something like public, maybe not. What's the Tailwind recommendation on including CSS to the project? Okay, let me just get started. Follow get started. Okay. No, it's not. It doesn't give me much. Well, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put content of these files into this the main index file, okay? And no, variables should be underscored, not index. Index should be the same. Let me comment out the variables. I will figure this out later on. I won't just keep going, and this stuff actually blocks me. I don't want it to block me, so I'm going to just include this stuff inside this main class, so main file. I will just make a note for myself. How did I figure out what's wrong with CSS includes. Okay, I don't want to spend much of your time, so let me try to rerun the build and see if it helped. Yes, it helped. Some styles disappeared here for some reason. Maybe because I removed the plugin for CSS plugin for importing. Yes, exactly. I think so. Should work now. Oh no. Okay. Okay. They ask me to move import to the top. Okay. No problem. Can do it. And even font can be added below all the imports. Okay. Let's see if it helps. Yes, it helped. Finally. Okay. Let me check what's the font for the text. Yes, Roboto is the main font, and then all the Tailwind defaults follow, which is good, which is what I wanted to achieve. The fonts are good. CSS variables, unfortunately, it's not possible to move them to a separate file. I will work on it later and figure out what's happening. So let me continue with migrating all the application styles to Tailwind CSS. First, I want to set some styles, these default styles for the header, this header. So it's gonna be block, it's gonna be font size to RAM. So let me check what's for 2 RAM and Tailwind CSS. Font size 2 RAM. Okay, that's fine. We don't have 2 RAM actually, but we do have 1.875. Can try this if it's enough for me. It's not exact, but should be okay. Let me comment out this stuff for now. Yeah, it's a bit smaller, but yeah, not a big issue. Okay, so I can remove this stuff already. Margin block start, margin block end, margin inline start, and font weight bold, font bold. Okay, I don't know what it means actually. I will just add some top and bottom margin for the header. Let me find the corresponding style, just marking. What's the value? No, 0.67. 0.625 RAM. Okay, that's okay. Let it be. Y for top and bottom marking. can remove it completely. Don't need it anymore. Let me reload the page. See if padding added. Yeah, actually it's not enough from my point of view. Let me just set it to 4 and see how it looks. I'm not going to reproduce the initial styles exactly. Should be okay for me. Okay, even 6. Let's try 6. That should be okay-ish. Yeah, 6 should be okay. Yeah, let's keep it this way for now. We'll be able to improve it later. And the bottom padding, I want to check the bottom padding for the footer, for the action panel. Just a second. Padding, margin bottom. Okay, so to balance it, I need the bottom margin to be set to the top margin of the for the header. So I will just m top. No, I can not do that. I can actually use arbitrary values, but not in this case. I will find an alternative way of doing it. And actually I will just take a look what I use here. No, I don't use any Tailwind classes here. So yeah, M6. It's gonna be MT6 for the top, and I can actually MB6 for the bottom, for the footer. Can set it here, remove it later from the action panel. For now it's gonna be good. Let's see how it looks now. Yeah, I think more or less good. Can even reduce it to 4, the header size to 4. Yes, that should make it. Let's continue with what's remaining. We completely migrated the index CSS file, and we have action panel classes to be migrated too. So I mentioned that I moved margin bottom of the action panel to the footer element, so I don't need it here. Yeah, it's good, should be good. Let me check and remove this annoying bar. I will later find a way to remove it completely. So here we have a little bit less margin and padding than at the top. To balance it, we need to add some more, I think. Let's try to add margin bottom 8 actually. Yeah, 8 should work better for the footer. Yep, that's right. Let's keep it this way. So what else in the action panel? Action panel actually flex and row, direction row, and justify center. Let's set it. Action panel. Action panel has these CSS model styles. So they set flex, flex row, justify center. Okay. Can close here. I can remove it from here. What about padding? Let's see what padding we have for 0.3. 0.3 or something similar. Yeah, 0.3. We don't have 0.3, but we have 0.25. let's use it. Okay, P1 for the action panel. P1. Okay. Can remove from here some custom styles for the buttons of the action panel, all the buttons. So let's check if we need to actually adjust button styles here. Yes, we need to add flex styles to them first, then set gap and border radius. So it's flexed row and justify center, item center. Let's start. Flex row, justify center, items center. Okay. I'm gonna copy it before saving, before it's sorted. So we added necessary styles for this button, and we need to add flex styles to other buttons. Not here, probably here. Okay, so I can save, remove redundant white spaces. That's for the flex styles of the buttons of the action panel. The gap. When we display two buttons in a row, we need to have some gap between them, right? So I'm gonna find an alternative for 0.8 in the list of, yeah, I think 3. Gap 3 is okay, should be okay for all the buttons. But actually it's not between buttons, but inside the button, between the icon and the label here, between sign in icon and the label. Let's take a look. Yeah, you see that border is not applied and the gap is not set. So I'm gonna set gap to 3, gap 3, and check. Yeah, it's good. You see the gap between the label and the icon. We can do the same for all buttons. Gap 3, gap 3. Yeah, we are not going to test that right now. We will test it later. For now, let's assume everything is fine. So we need border radius of 0.3. Let me Google border, not Google. Look for the documentation page for the border radius. So border radius 0.3. 0.3 is, yeah, we don't have exact 0.3, but we have 0.25, and it's just rounded. Okay, so the class is just rounded, normal default rounded style. Can copy it and assign to other buttons. Save the file here, sort the classes, all good. You see that the button now has rounded corners. That's what I wanted to achieve. So now we can actually remove the action panel module CSS completely. We don't need it anymore. Yeah, what else we have here from normal CSS styles? I don't think we have much left. Okay. What can be improved further is, let me check icon components, and icon components have the properties which I can actually, the property for primary color, which I can actually replace with the corresponding Tailwind class. So what if I use class here instead? Class how to call the class? It's fill primary for sign in button. Let's comment out and see if it helped. Yeah, I think it works. Primary color is white. The icon is white. Let's try secondary just to test. Secondary color. Yeah, you see the color of the icon changed. So we can actually use Tailwind classes. I will use primary and assign it to all the icon components. And even better, because all these default styles for icon equivalent, I can actually create a kind of util file and move these settings to it. Let me create utils folder in the we already have utils here, right? Yeah, we already have utils here, so I will just create a utils a theme, or how to say, yeah, I think theme is okay here in this context, and I can extract this to a separate constant. Export const default icon props, something like this. Icon props, can save it and use this constant for all icons. I can actually use it everywhere. I will just copy this entire line because it's the same for every component. Need to import the constant. And here. Yeah. Further, if we want to develop it further, we can actually extract it to a separate component with this part being a wrapper for all the icons. But yeah, I don't see much many benefits of that. I mean, yes, it's refactoring, but yeah, refactoring should have some limitations. We cannot refactor all these. I mean, we should spend more time on features and useful stuff instead of just improving the code styles and refactoring. But you can get the idea how to refactor it yourself. So what else can they move? I don't think we have anything here. Nothing here. Here's everything is Tailwind, and here everything is Tailwind. All the styles have been successfully migrated to Tailwind CSS, at least from those which I can find here. So I still have a problem with importing some external files to the index CSS. I will find a solution and show you next time. We still have some things to do, and I will do it next time. But for now, thank you for your time. Cheers.